my beloved child. My precious chosen one, I have been waiting for this exact moment to speak directly into the depths of your soul. Can you hear it? Listen closely to the sound of the waves gently lapping against the old weathered wood of the pier. That rhythmic pulse is not just the tide. It is the echo of my own heartbeat, a constant and unwavering love that has followed you through every dark valley and every storm you have faced alone. You have been running for so long, carrying a weight that was never yours to bear, trying to prove your worth in a world that does not know your true name. You feel exhausted, don't you? You feel as though you are standing at the edge of a great mist, unable to see the path forward, wondering if anyone truly knows the silent tears you shed when the lights go out. I have seen every tear. I have heard every whispered plea for help that you thought vanished into the wind. I was there in the silence, and I am here now calling you back to the place where you belong. Before I reveal the profound blessing I have prepared for you and the mystery of the restoration that is about to unfold in your life, I want you to declare your presence in this divine appointment. Do not let this moment pass you by, for it is a sacred encounter designed specifically for you. Type "I am here, Lord" or 7007 in the comments right now to open the gates of heaven and signal that you are ready to receive. This is your act of faith, a step out of the shadows and into my light. Join this beautiful family of believers who are walking this path with you. Press the like button to signal your agreement with heaven's decree over your life, and subscribe to this channel to ensure you never lose your way back to my voice again. By doing this, you are telling the universe that you are no longer a wanderer but a child of the Most High who has finally decided to come home. There is a story, I must tell you, a secret hidden in the mist of time that I have kept for this very hour. It is the story of an old man named Samuel and a young boy named Thomas. You might think it is just a tale of two people at a pier, but as the fog begins to lift, you will realize that this is the mirror of our journey together. It is a story about a promise made in the innocence of youth, a promise forgotten in the pursuit of the world, and a father who never stopped waiting at the dock even when the seasons changed and the hair turned gray. You have been like Thomas, chasing shadows and building kingdoms of sand, while I have been like Samuel, holding on to a gift that has your name written on it. The time of your wandering is coming to an end, and the era of your restoration is beginning. Open your heart, for the mist is clearing, and I am standing right here, ready to show you what I have been holding for you all these years. Close your eyes for a moment, my beloved, and let me take you back to a time when the world was vast, but you felt entirely safe within it. Do you remember the smell of the salt air and the way the morning sun danced upon the ripples of the water? I was there, standing beside you on that old wooden pier, just as Samuel stood by Thomas. In those early days, your heart was an open book, and my voice was the melody in the wind that you understood without trying. You would sit there for hours, your small hands gripping a simple wooden rod, eyes wide with the wonder of what lay beneath the surface. You didn't worry about the mortgage, the deadlines, or the opinions of people who don't know your soul. You simply trusted. You trusted that the fish would bite, that the sun would rise, and that I would never let you fall into the deep. That innocence was not a sign of weakness, my child. It was the purest form of strength you have ever possessed. It was the season of our first covenant, a silent agreement that we would face the world together, hand in hand. I saw you then laughing at the simple things, and I see you now longing for that simplicity to return. I remember the day you caught that first tiny fish, its silver scales shimmering like a lost coin in the light. Your heart raced with the thrill of the catch, but then you looked into the eyes of Samuel, into my eyes, and saw a different kind of lesson waiting for you. I whispered to your spirit then that true power is not found in what you can grasp and keep, but in what you have the courage to release. "Let it go, my child," I said, and as you watched that little life slip back into the emerald depths, you learned the sacred art of surrender. You understood then that the ocean is vast and my provision is endless, so there was no need to cling to the small things out of fear. You were being built in those quiet moments, prepared for a destiny that required a heart large enough to hold the world, but light enough to let it go. You didn't realize it then, but you were making a pact with the universe, a promise that you would always trust in the flow of life rather than the friction of control. But as the years began to pull you away from the shore, the noise of the world started to drown out that ancient wisdom. You began to believe that you had to fight for every scrap, that you had to hold on so tight that your knuckles turned white, forgetting that the same Father who provided for the birds of the air and the fish of the sea was still standing on the dock waiting for you to look up. I saw the moment you began to trade your peace for a hollow promise of success, and my heart yearned for the return of that child who knew how to breathe. You have forgotten that the covenant we made was never about what you could achieve, but about who you are in my presence. You are not behind and you are not lost. You are simply in a season where I am calling you to remember that small fish and the freedom that came from letting it go. The covenant is still active, and I am still standing there holding the other end of the line, waiting to guide you back to the peace you thought you had lost forever. The transition happened so slowly, my beloved, that you didn't even notice the distance growing between us. It began with a simple whisper of, "I'm too busy today," a small excuse that felt harmless at the time. You promised you would return to the pier next week, then next month, and eventually the Saturdays we spent together became nothing more than a fading memory tucked away in a dusty corner of your mind. I watched you walk away from the shore, your eyes no longer fixed on the horizon of my grace, but on the glittering lights of the city that promised you everything while slowly taking away your soul. The silence between us grew louder with every year that passed. I saw you trade the rhythmic sound of the waves for the frantic ticking of clocks and the relentless noise of a world that demands you produce, achieve, and compete until there is nothing left of the child I once knew. You started to believe that your value was tied to your output, forgetting that you were already priceless to me before you ever did a single thing. 14 years old brought the first taste of independence, a season where the world began to look larger and more inviting than the quiet safety of my presence. 15 years old brought the pressure to fit in, to be liked, and to follow the crowd, even when it led you away from the truth. By the time you were 20, the great forgetting had set in deeply. You became captivated by the blonde girlfriend of worldly desires, a metaphor for every distraction and every relationship that pulled you further into the maze of human approval. You sought validation in faces that didn't love you, and in achievements that could never satisfy the hunger in your spirit. I saw you in Chicago, surrounded by millions of people, but feeling more alone than you ever did on that empty pier. I saw you chasing the wind, thinking that if you just worked a little harder, earned a little more, or climbed a little higher, the hollow ache in your chest would finally disappear. But the world is a demanding master, my child. It gave you KPIs and deadlines instead of peace. It gave you social status instead of true belonging. I watched you sit in high-rise offices and crowded bars wearing a mask of success while your heart was crying out for home. You were being trained by the world to be a victor in a game that has no real winners, while I was waiting to make you a victor over the darkness itself. Every time you felt that sharp pang of emptiness in the middle of a celebration, that was my spirit gently tugging at the line, reminding you that you were made for more than this. You are not just a cog in a machine or a number on a balance sheet. You are a chosen one who has wandered into a far country, but no matter how far you drift, the current of my love is still stronger than the tide pulling you away. The world may have taught you to forget me, but I have never for one second forgotten the promise we made in the mist. I have watched you stand at the very peak of what the world calls success, my child. I saw you in the gleaming glass towers of the city, dressed in the finest clothes, carrying a title that makes others whisper your name with envy. To the eyes of the world, you have made it. You have conquered the mountains of industry and built a life that looks perfect on a screen. But I see past the filters and the forced smiles. I see you in those late-night hours when the celebration has ended and the silence of your luxury apartment becomes deafening. You are surrounded by everything you ever thought you wanted, yet you feel a profound, aching hollowness that no amount of money or praise can fill. You have climbed the ladder only to find it was leaning against the wrong wall. This is the burden of false success, the heavy weight of having everything but possessing nothing of eternal value. You have become a master of a world that does not truly know you, and in the process you have become a stranger to yourself and to me. I saw you sitting in those endless boardrooms surrounded by people who speak of growth and profit but never of the soul. I felt the bitterness of those social drinks you swallow just to numb the realization that you are performing a role that doesn't fit your spirit. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny and nod at plans that feel meaningless, all while a quiet voice inside you is screaming for something real. You are exhausted from the constant need to maintain an image, to stay ahead of the competition, and to hide the fact that you are running out of breath. You are in a spiritual battle that you didn't even realize you were fighting, trying to fill a divine thirst with salt water. I was there in every meeting where you felt invisible despite being the center of attention. I was there in every crowded room where you felt more alone than a hermit in a cave. I saw your weariness and I heard the silent cry of your heart asking, "Is this all there is?" Now, my precious one, I want you to do something for me. Stop for a moment and place your hand on your left chest, right over your heart. Can you feel that steady beat? Beneath that rhythm, there is a space, a quiet, empty hole that you have tried to plug with achievements, possessions, and the approval of others. But that hole is not a defect. It is a sacred design. It is a hole the shape of me. You were never meant to be satisfied by the shadows of this world because you were created for the substance of my kingdom. This burden of success has become a prison, but I am here with the key. You don't have to break under the pressure of being perfect anymore. I am calling you to drop the heavy bags of expectation and step back into the grace of being my child. The world gave you a crown of thorns disguised as gold, but I am ready to give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. While you were away building your towers and chasing the flickering lights of the city, I was sitting at the edge of the world waiting for you. Think of Samuel on that old wooden pier, the wind chilling his bones and the salt air turning his hair to white. Year after year, season after season, he sat there with 2 fishing rods, one for him and one for you. He watched the sun rise and set over a horizon that remained empty of your silhouette. People walked by and whispered, their voices filled with pity or mockery. They saw an old man staring at a vacant road, clinging to a promise that seemed long dead. But Samuel wasn't just sitting. He was holding a sacred space for you. He was keeping the fire of our covenant burning in the cold mist of your absence. Every Saturday morning, without fail, he would prepare the gear, check the lines, and look down the long, empty path, hoping to see you walking home. He didn't stay there because he had nothing else to do. He stayed there because he knew the day would come when the world would finally break your heart, and you would need a place to land. The voices of the world, the neighbors, the skeptics, and the whispers of darkness, they all laughed at my persistence. They told me you were never coming back. They said he has forgotten you. He is a big success now. He has a life in the city, a fancy car, and a world that adores him. He doesn't need this old pier or your simple lessons anymore. They tried to convince me that you were a lost cause, that you had drifted too far and become too cold to ever hear my voice again. But I do not see as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance, at the long years of silence and the miles of distance traveled, but I look at the heart. I saw the tiny spark of our first covenant still flickering deep inside you, buried under layers of stress, pride, and disappointment. I ignored the mockers because I knew the truth. You weren't avoiding me. You were just lost in a storm you didn't know how to navigate. My silence during those years was not abandonment. It was the quiet strength of a father who knows his child's voice and is willing to wait an eternity just to hear it again. If you can feel the warmth of this unwavering love reaching through the screen and touching your spirit right now, do not turn away. Take a moment to press the like button as a sign that you are receiving this grace and that you are ready to let go of the guilt. Subscribe to this sanctuary of peace so we can continue this journey together, ensuring that no matter how loud the world gets, my voice will always find its way back to your heart. This is not just a video, it is a lifeline I am throwing to you across the years of your wandering. You may feel a deep sense of shame when you think about how long it has been since we last spoke, but hear me now. My beloved, I am not a God who keeps a ledger of your absences. I do not count the days you were gone. I count the beats of your heart. Every time your heart throbbed with a sense of missing something you couldn't name, I was there. Every time you felt a wave of nostalgia for a simpler time, I was there, recognizing the signature of my spirit within you. I didn't bring you this far to lecture you on your failures. I brought you here to show you that my faithfulness is not dependent on yours. Even when you were faithless, I remained faithful. The pier is still standing, the lines are ready, and I am still here exactly where you left me. When Thomas finally returned to that small house by the sea, he found something more precious than gold sitting on the old wooden desk. It was a worn, leather-bound journal, Samuel's diary. As he turned the pages with trembling fingers, he didn't find a list of grievances or a record of his debts. Instead, he saw a mountain of dates spanning years and decades, each one a Saturday. Beside every date, there were only a few words written in a steady, loving hand. Thomas didn't come today, but I still love him. I caught a beautiful fish and let it go, wishing he were here to see the light on its scales. I am waiting. I am not going anywhere. My beloved, this is the secret I want to whisper into your heart today. I have a ledger too, but it is not a book of your sins or a tally of your mistakes. It is a divine ledger of love. Every moment you spent wandering in the cold, every night you felt the sting of regret, and every Saturday you chose the world over. My presence, I was writing down my devotion to you. I was recording the fact that no matter how far you strayed, you were still mine. I want you to understand the depth of my watchfulness over you. Long before you ever drew your first breath, my eyes saw your unformed substance. Every single one of your days was written in my book before any of them even began. I knew the moment you would first feel the urge to leave the pier, and I knew the exact moment you would feel the exhaustion that would lead you back home. I am the potter, and you are the clay. I have known the texture of your soul since the beginning of time. Your life is not a series of accidents or a collection of random failures. Even your hidden season, those years where you felt invisible and forgotten, was a chapter I wrote with purpose. I saw you when you were falling apart, and I saw that you weren't breaking. You were becoming. You were being built to handle a weight of glory that the younger, innocent version of you could never have carried. Every tear you shed was a seed, and every silent struggle was a lesson in endurance. You may look back at your past and see only wasted time, but in my ledger, nothing is ever truly lost. I know how to redeem everything you have been through. Imagine your life is like a container intended to be filled with joy, peace, and creativity. For years, you allowed worry, shame, and the negativity of the world to take up space in that container, pushing out the good things I had for you. But today, I am clearing out the ledger. I am wiping away the guilt that has taken up room in your heart, making space for the confidence and the abundance that you need for the next stage of your destiny. Do not agree with the voice of the enemy that says you have failed too many times, or that it is too late for you. If you were a failure, I would not have kept the diary. If your story was over, I would have closed the book. But the ink is still wet on the pages of your future. You see, my child, your names are engraved on the palms of my hands. I do not look at you and see a prodigal or a runner. I look at you and see the one I formed with my own breath. My ledger says that you are forgiven even when you cannot forgive yourself. My ledger says that you are well supplied even when you see only lack. My ledger says that you are more than a conqueror even when you feel defeated by the weight of the world. Trust in my timing and my record of your life. The years that the locusts have eaten are being recalculated by my grace. You are standing at the threshold of a restoration so complete that the memory of your wandering will be swallowed up by the magnitude of my blessing. I have kept every promise, I have counted every hair on your head, and I have never for a single Saturday stopped believing in the masterpiece I am creating through you. In the quiet moments after you found that journal, you might have felt a crushing wave of grief, thinking that time has stolen the ones you love or the opportunities you missed. But listen to what I told Thomas through the wisdom of Samuel. When you see the sun dipping below the horizon and the world turns to shadows, it feels like an ending. It feels like the light has failed. But the truth, my beloved, is that the sun never actually sets. It is simply moving to a different position to illuminate another part of my creation. While you are standing in the twilight, someone else on the other side of the world is witnessing the glorious birth of a new day. This is the truth about the death of your seasons, your relationships, and even your past mistakes. What looks like a final curtain to you is merely a transition in my eyes. I am the eternal sunrise, the light that never fades, and in me there are no true endings, only shifts into a more radiant reality. You have been living in the fear of the dark for too long. You worry that your best days are behind you, that your youth is gone, or that you have missed the boat of your destiny. But I tell you now, the darkness you feel is not a tomb. It is a womb. It is the place where I am preparing the next dawn of your life. Every difficulty you have faced and every heartbreak that made you feel like the sun would never rise again was actually a calibration of your spirit. I am training your eyes to see the light in the middle of the mist. I do not always deliver you from the fire or the night. Sometimes I walk through them with you so that you become fireproof and shadowproof. I am the morning star that guides you through the storm, and I promise you that the glory of the sunrise I have planned for your future will make the shadows of your past look like a fleeting dream. You are not finishing. You are starting over with a wisdom you could never have gained in the daylight. If you can feel the warmth of this spiritual sunrise breaking through the coldness of your current situation, do not keep this revelation to yourself. Like this video right now to honor the faithfulness of the light that never abandoned you, and subscribe to join this global family of the morning, ensuring your name is written among those who expect my goodness every single day. By doing this, you are coming into agreement with me, declaring that the night is over and your restoration has begun. Type "the light has come" in the comments to signal to the heavens that you are no longer walking in darkness. This is not just a digital action. It is a spiritual declaration that you are aligning your heart with the rhythm of my grace. I am already knocking at the door of your heart, ready to flood your life with a brightness you cannot yet imagine. Remember, my precious one, that endurance is not just waiting for the storm to pass. It is learning to stand in the rain with the absolute certainty that I am in control. You have passed the discouragement test even if you don't feel like you have. Your presence here listening to my voice is proof of your faithfulness. You are stronger than you think, and I am getting you prepared to handle the weight of the massive blessing that is about to dawn. A big blessing requires a greater maturity and a stronger character. And that is exactly what the night has produced in you. Suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And this hope will not disappoint you because it is anchored in me. The morning is not just coming, it is already here. Can you see the first light hitting the dock? Can you feel the chill of the mist being chased away by the heat of my love? Step out of the shadows, for your time of shining has finally arrived. I saw you as you walked down that familiar path, the one you hadn't trodden in decades. Your steps were heavy laden with the weight of 1,000 missed Saturdays and 1,000,000 unspoken apologies. You stood at the edge of the pier looking at the empty chair where Samuel used to sit, and the silence felt like a physical blow. You wanted to scream, to cry out against the years you wasted chasing shadows in the city. You felt the sting of too late burning in your throat, a bitter regret that you didn't come back while the sun was still high. But listen to me. My child, there is no such thing as too late in my kingdom. The world measures time in minutes and hours, but I measure it in heartbeats and readiness. The moment you decided to turn back was the moment time began to bend in your favor. You are like the prodigal son standing at the gate, rehearsing your confession, wondering if I will even recognize the person you have become. I recognized you from a mile away, not by the expensive clothes you wear or the weariness in your eyes, but by the signature of my spirit that has never left your soul. You knelt on that weathered wood, your tears falling into the same salt water where we once released that tiny fish. You whispered, "I'm so sorry, Father, I've wasted it all. I am covered in the mud of the world, stained by the greed and the pride that I thought would make me whole." You felt you had to clean yourself up before you could face me. You thought you needed to fix your life, settle your debts, and wash away your mistakes before you were worthy to stand on my dock again. But hear my voice today. Do not agree with that guilt. It is a lie from the enemy designed to keep you in the shadows. I don't want a polished version of you, I want the real you. I want the version of you that is tired, broken, and honest. Come to me exactly as you are, with your scars, your regrets, and your stains. You don't get well to come to the doctor, you come to the doctor to get well. Your confession is not a trial where I am the judge, it is a homecoming where I am the Father running to meet you with a robe of grace. Bury that inner victim today. My precious one, stop identifying with your failures and start identifying with my forgiveness. When you say I am a failure, you are disagreeing with me. I say you are a victor. When you say I am lost, I say you are found. This late confession is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your true identity. You are not being punished for your absence. You are being trained through the realization of how much you need me. I have already moved the obstacles. I have already cleared your name. The blood of Jesus covers every Saturday you missed and every promise you broke. Relax and trust me. The shame you feel is being dissolved in the ocean of my mercy. You are home now. And in my house, we don't dwell on the night. We celebrate the morning. The pier is not a place of judgment, it is a place of peace. Take a deep breath and let the weight of those years fall into the sea. I am not through with you yet. In fact, the greatest catch of your life is still ahead of you. As Thomas stepped into the old shed, his eyes fell upon a small package tucked away on a high shelf, untouched by the dust that covered everything else. With trembling hands, he pulled it down and saw the faded wrapping paper, a relic of a birthday long forgotten. Inside lay a brand new fishing reel, its silver surface gleaming with a brilliance that seemed to defy the passing of years. It was modern, powerful, and perfectly preserved, a gift from Samuel that had been waiting in the silence for the moment Thomas would return. My beloved, this is the vivid image of what I am doing in your life right now. You look at the calendar and feel a sharp pang of regret. You see the gray in your hair or the years on your resume and think that time has outrun you. You feel as though the locusts of bad decisions, missed opportunities, and external hardships have eaten away the prime of your life. But I am the Lord of the harvest, and I am speaking a promise of restoration over you. I will make up to you for the years that were stolen. In my hands, time is not a thief. It is a tool for my glory. Do not allow the enemy to whisper that you are too old, too far behind, or that your window of opportunity has slammed shut. When you align your heart with mine, I move you out of the chronological time of man and into the Kairos time of heaven. In this divine timing, I can cause you to achieve in 1 year what it takes others 20 years to accomplish. I am preparing a supernatural acceleration for your career, your finances, and your influence. You have been in a hidden season, a time where it felt like nothing was moving, but I was actually protecting your new reel in the secret place. I was waiting for your character to match the magnitude of the blessing I had already purchased for you. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from a place of spiritual authority that only comes through the fire. I am going to collapse the distance between your prayer and the manifestation of the answer, bringing you into a season where the reaper overtakes the plowman. This new reel I am placing in your hands represents a new way of living and a new way of prospering. You have been trying to catch my blessings using the old rusty tools of human effort, anxiety, and manipulation. But those tools were never meant to handle the big catch I have destined for you. I am giving you a new capacity for wisdom, a new level of creativity, and a new rhythm of peace. This restoration is so complete that when you look back, the years of your wandering will seem like a short, necessary training session for the abundance you are now entering. I am restoring your joy, your health, and your lost dreams. I am bringing back the people who truly belong in your life and clearing the path of those who don't. You will not emerge from this season looking like what you've been through. You will emerge looking like what I've always seen in you. The world says that time once lost is gone forever, but I say that I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who holds time in my palm. I can redeem every wasted hour and every painful second. I am working behind the scenes right now to orchestrate a sudden breakthrough that will leave you breathless with gratitude. You have passed the test of waiting and you have passed the test of discouragement. Now prepare yourself for the weight of the blessing. This is not just a small fix, it is a total restoration of your destiny. The gift was never lost. It was just waiting for the return of the chosen one. Take hold of the new tools I am giving you and get ready to cast your line again. This time the waters will not be empty and the harvest will be greater than anything you ever dared to imagine. My beloved, that new reel Thomas found in the shed, the one that was modern, smooth, and powerful, is not just a piece of equipment in a story. It is a prophetic symbol of the new season I am opening for your life, especially in your career and your finances. For years you have been trying to catch my blessings using the old reel of manual struggle, anxiety-driven effort, and outdated methods. You have been grinding, working long hours, and feeling like you are barely scratching the surface of what you are capable of. You have caught small fish just to survive, but you have never felt the weight of true abundance. I tell you today, the old way of doing things is over. I am giving you a new reel, a new strategy, a new creative idea, a divine connection, or a technological breakthrough that will make your labor more effective and your harvest much greater. This new tool has been waiting for you, wrapped in my timing, and it is perfectly designed for the big catch that is swimming toward your life right now. I am prophesying over your hands today. You are about to receive an opportunity that has been gift-wrapped and hidden for years just for you. This project, this job offer, or this business venture will feel different from anything you've done before. It will be smoother like the high-quality bearings of that silver reel. Where you used to face friction and resistance, you will now find favor and ease. You are moving from the hard way to the heavenly way. I saw you when you were discouraged because you felt your skills were becoming obsolete, or the economy was moving too fast for you to keep up. But I am the one who gives the power to get wealth, and I am handing you the modern tools of this age to fulfill your mission. This new catch will be so significant that it will not only provide for your needs, but will allow you to be a blessing to many others. It is a big fish that I have been growing in the deep waters specifically for this moment of your return. If you believe that I am upgrading your provision and opening a new door of opportunity right now, do not remain silent. Type "I am ready for the catch" or 888 in the comments to claim this financial and professional breakthrough. This is the moment to signal your agreement with the abundance of heaven. And as you feel this shift happening in your spirit, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. This is your way of joining a community of victors who refuse to live in lack. By doing so, you are telling the world that you are moving out of the struggle season and into the success season that I have prepared for you. I am not a God of scarcity, I am a God of more than enough. I want you to have the best tools because I have given you a big assignment. I don't give big assignments to small people, and I am enlarging your capacity even as you listen to my words. Do you remember how when you were 8 years old, Samuel made you release the fish? That was a lesson in character. But now in this season of maturity, the rules have changed. The big fish I am bringing to you now is yours to keep. This blessing will not be a fleeting moment or a temporary win that slips through your fingers. It is a lasting provision, a foundation for your future and your family's legacy. I am making you fireproof against the fluctuations of the world's economy. When others see lack, you will see opportunity. When others are losing their grip, you will be reeling in the harvest with confidence. This new reel is built to handle the weight of the blessing without breaking. Trust the process, trust the tool, and most importantly, trust the Father who has been waiting on the dock with the gift in his hand. Your days of empty nets are over. Your season of the great catch has officially begun. Do you remember the steam rising from the weathered mug that Samuel always held out to you, even before you had a chance to ask? That wasn't just hot cocoa, my child. It was the physical manifestation of a love that anticipates your needs before you even feel the chill. While you were out in the world dealing with cold hearts, transactional relationships, and people who only loved you for what you could provide, I was here keeping the fire lit and the drink warm. I saw the ways the world tried to harden you. I saw the betrayals that made you build high walls around your heart, and I saw the moments you decided it was safer to be alone than to be misunderstood again. But today I am breathing my warmth into those cold places. I am the great physician, and I am reaching into the depths of your soul to touch the scars you thought were permanent. The isolation you have felt is being replaced by a divine connection that will never leave you thirsty or shivering in the dark. I am speaking a prophecy over your relationships and your family right now. For too long you have been surrounded by fair-weather friends and partners who, like the distractions of the city, left you feeling emptier than when they found you. I have watched you pour your heart into people who did not have the capacity to hold it. But hear my word, I am clearing the deck. I am removing the toxic influences, the manipulators, and the ones who only see you as a means to an end. In their place, I am bringing Samuels into your life, people of substance, mentors of integrity, and friends who are as faithful as the morning tide. I am restoring the broken bonds within your family. Where there has been silence, there will be laughter. Where there has been bitterness, there will be the sweet aroma of forgiveness. You will no longer have to perform to be loved. You will be loved simply because you are mine. Because you are precious in my sight and honored, and I love you, I will give people in exchange for you and nations in exchange for your life. Do not fear the empty seats at your table right now, for I am preparing a new company of believers and loved ones who will see the chosen one within you. You have felt like an outcast, a black sheep, or a stranger in your own home, but I am bringing you into a truer belonging. I am healing the trauma of your childhood and the disappointments of your adulthood. I am turning your scars into credentials of strength. The warmth that Samuel offered Thomas on that pier is the same warmth I am pouring into your home this very hour. You will find that the people I bring to you will not ask for your resume. They will ask for your heart, and they will cherish the gift of your presence. If you believe that I am healing your heart and bringing divine connections into your life, do not stay silent. Type "I receive my healing" or 1111 in the comments to open the spiritual gates for these new relationships to enter. This is your moment to affirm that you are worthy of love, worthy of loyalty, and worthy of a family that reflects my grace. Like this video as a signal of your agreement with the restoration of your peace, and subscribe to stay connected to this flow of living water. I am making all things new, starting from the inside out. The bitterness is draining away, and in its place I am pouring a sweetness that the world can neither give nor take away. You are home, my beloved, and you are surrounded by a love that has no end. My beloved child, the time for wandering is over and the hour of your reconstruction has arrived. I am calling you into a sacred window of time, a 7-day journey of rebirth that will recalibrate your spirit and prepare you for the weight of the glory I am about to release. Do not treat these coming days as ordinary, for I have set them apart as a bridge between the person you were in the city and the victor you are becoming on my pier. Starting from the very next time the sun peaks over the horizon, I want you to make a choice. Each morning for the next 7 days, before you look at your phone, before you check your emails, and before you let the noise of the world's demands enter your mind, I want you to turn your face toward the sunrise. Just as Samuel taught Thomas to watch the light, I want you to sit in the silence with me. This is not a religious chore, it is a return to the dock. It is your time to breathe in my peace and breathe out the exhaustion that has claimed your soul for far too long. In these 7 days, I am going to perform a deep cleansing of your container. On day 1 and 2, I will wash away the residue of shame and the what-ifs that have kept you awake at night. On day 3 and 4, I will replace your spirit of heaviness with a garment of praise, giving you a new perspective on the difficulties that once seemed like mountains. By day 5 and 6, I will begin to whisper the specific new strategies for your new catch ideas that have been gestating in the silence, waiting for you to be still enough to hear them. This is a construction site, not a prison. I am building the character in you that can sustain the prosperity I am bringing. If you commit to this 7-day rebirth, if you show me your faithfulness in these little things, you are passing the final entrance exam for the much I have prepared. Listen to my promise. If you will stay on the pier with me for these 7 mornings, if you will yield your control and allow my spirit to move through your life, something miraculous will happen on the 8th day. The number 8 represents new beginnings, and that is exactly what is waiting for you. On that 8th day, the mist will fully clear and you will see the breakthrough that has been circling your life finally make landfall. You will notice a shift in your atmosphere, a sudden favor in your workplace, a healing in your body, or a peace in your home that defies human logic. You are being fireproofed. You are being trained. You are being loved back into your true identity. This is your time to zip the negative words and speak only what I say about you. Instead of saying I am tired, say I am strong in the Lord. Instead of saying it's too late, say my morning has begun. I am already knocking on the door of this new week, and I am asking you to open it wide. Do not let the distractions of the world steal this 7-day seed from you. Every morning you show up is a seed sown into your destiny, and the harvest will be 30, 60, and 100-fold. I have always carried you even when you didn't know it, and I am carrying you now into this rebirth. The old Thomas is staying in the shadows of Chicago, but the new chosen one is rising with the sun on the dock. Trust the process, for I am making everything beautiful in its time. Your wait is being transformed into a weight of blessing, and your silence is being turned into a song of victory. I will see you at the sunrise. My beloved child, we have reached the end of this message, but it is only the beginning of our new life together. The mist has completely vanished, and the sun is now high, warming the wood of the pier beneath your feet. I want you to take a deep, cleansing breath and feel the weight of those lost years falling away into the deep. It is time for you to speak to me. I want you to step into the heart of Thomas, to take that silver shimmering reel in your hands and to offer up a prayer of return. You don't need fancy words or religious rituals. You only need the honesty of a child who has finally found their way home. Close your eyes and let these words become your own, whispered from the center of your spirit to the heart of your Father, who has never once looked away from you. Heavenly Father, my Creator and my Shepherd, I am here. I am finally standing on the dock. For so long I have been a wanderer in the city of my own making, chasing success that left me empty and seeking love that left me broken. I confess that I forgot the Saturdays we spent together. I confess that I let the noise of the world drown out the melody of your voice. But today I hear you calling my name in the mist. I accept your invitation to come home, not as a stranger, but as your chosen one. I lay down the heavy burden of my past, my guilt and my shame at your feet. I believe that you have been waiting for me with 2 fishing rods and a heart full of mercy. I receive your forgiveness, and I choose to forgive myself, knowing that in your eyes I have never stopped being precious. I take hold of the new reel you have prepared for me. I receive the restoration of the years the locusts have eaten. I claim the promise that I will achieve in 1 year what I lost in 10. I open my heart to the new catch, the divine opportunities, the financial breakthroughs, and the creative ideas that you have hidden for this exact moment. I am no longer afraid of the deep waters, for I know you are the one who controls the tide. I receive the Samuel connections you are bringing into my life, and the healing of every broken relationship in my family. I am fireproof, I am well supplied, and I am standing on the rock that will never be moved. I commit my next 7 days to the sunrise, to watching for your light, and to walking in the new identity you have given me. My precious child, as you speak these words, the heavens are rejoicing, the angels are singing, because the one who was lost is now found, and the one who was weary is now home. This is your seal. This is your moment of transformation. Do not let the enemy steal this seed from your heart as soon as you leave this video. Lock this blessing into your life right now. Press the like button one last time as a final act of agreement with my decree. Subscribe to this family of light to ensure that your Saturdays are always spent in my presence, and that you never wander back into the cold fog of the city again. We are a family of victors, and your seat at the table is permanently reserved. Now seal this prophecy for eternity. This is the most important act of faith you will take today. Do not stay silent. Let the world and the heavens know that the return of the chosen one is complete. Type "I am home" or "I have returned" in the comments right now. By typing these words, you are closing the door on your past and opening the gates to your future. You are declaring to the spiritual realm that you have received your restoration, your new tools, and your Father's embrace. I am with you, I have always been with you, and I will never leave you again. The cocoa is warm, the gear is ready, and the greatest season of your life is just beginning. Amen.